If you love chocolate chip cookies, then you're not going to want to miss today's recipe. This is one of my absolute favorites. It's one of the most popular ones on my site, and it's a copycat from a hotel chain that you're probably familiar with. That's right, today I'm going to show you how to make Doubletree chocolate chip cookies. They're actually better than the ones that you get at the hotel. You're not going to want to miss it. Hey everyone, it's Dorothy with crazyforcrust.com and welcome back to my kitchen. This recipe is absolutely one of my favorites. I miss traveling, I miss going to hotels, I miss getting chocolate chip cookies on check-in, and so I'm making these at home, and I'm gonna make them with extra chocolate and extra gooey, just the way I like them. If you love Doubletree chocolate chip cookies, then you're not gonna wanna miss this recipe. For more delicious desserts and easy recipes, be sure to subscribe to my channel. Now let's get in the kitchen. Now this recipe might have a few ingredients that seem a little bit strange for a chocolate chip cookie, but I'm gonna explain each and every one. So first we're gonna start with old-fashioned oats. Now this is not an oatmeal cookie. What we're gonna do is we're gonna put half of a cup of old-fashioned oats in a food processor or blender. You're gonna process it until it's fine and powdery, not like flour, but just pulse it a few times until it's the oats are nice and broken up and powdery. Then we're gonna mix all of our dry ingredients together. So go ahead and put your oats in a medium-sized bowl and add 2 1/4 cups of flour, a teaspoon of baking soda, a teaspoon of salt, and 1/4 teaspoon of ground cinnamon. And whisk those together and then set them aside. And now we're gonna deal with the wet ingredients for our cookie dough. As most chocolate chip cookie recipes do, this one starts with butter, and I'm gonna use 1 cup of unsalted butter, and I'm gonna melt it. I love starting cookies with melted butter because I just feel like it adds a little bit of toffee-like richness into the cookie. So add 1 cup of unsalted butter, melt that in the microwave, and then add 3/4 cup of packed brown sugar and 3/4 cup of granulated sugar. Stir that together. The beauty of starting with melted butter is that you don't need a mixer. You can just do this with a spoon or a spatula. So just stir those together until they're combined. And then add a tablespoon of vanilla, 2 large eggs, and 1/4 teaspoon of lemon juice. Now, this might seem a little bit strange to add to a chocolate chip cookie recipe, and no, it does not make them taste like lemon. The lemon, there's such a little amount of lemon juice that there is no lemon flavor in the cookie, but what the acid in the lemon juice does is it activates the baking soda. So this cookie is soft and it's chewy, and that softness, it comes from the activation of the baking soda with the lemon juice. So you can't skip it, but it's just a little teeny bit. Don't worry, you're not gonna taste it. Mix all of the wet ingredients together until it's nice and smooth. And then stir in the dry ingredients that we mixed together earlier. Stir that together. It's gonna be easy to do this with just a wooden spoon or a spatula because of that melted butter. And then I'm gonna add 3 cups of chocolate chips and 1 1/2 cups of chopped walnuts. Now for the chocolate chips, just use your favorite kind. My favorite chocolate chips are actually from Trader Joe's, but you can use any chocolate chips that you like. You can use semi-sweet or milk. You could use a combination, use bittersweet, whatever you like. This would even be great with some chopped candy like peanut butter cups or M&Ms or anything. Just 3 cups of chocolate chips or some sort of mix-in. For the walnuts, you can omit them if you're allergic, or you can substitute pecans, would be another fabulous nut in this cookie. All right, so now once you have the mixture all mixed together, now it's time to scoop the cookies onto our cookie sheet. Now, if you have ever been to a Doubletree and gotten one of their nice warm chocolate chip cookies on check-in, you know that they're ginormous. So we're gonna use a 1/4 cup ice cream scoop or cookie scoop, or you could use a 1/4 cup, actual 1/4 cup measuring cup to measure out these cookies. So these are large cookies and they are very substantial. So I'm just going to place them on my cookie sheet. For the size of this cookie sheet, they do spread a little bit. You're gonna wanna put about 6 per cookie sheet. Now it's really important that you chill the dough for this because that melted butter, it'll make them spread too much. So go ahead and chill the dough for at least 2 hours. You can do it 4 hours overnight. And then what I do before I bake them is I press them slightly with the palm of my hand just to flatten just a little bit. And then I'm gonna bake them at 350 degrees for about 14 minutes or so. I do like to rotate my pans halfway through baking, just because sometimes my oven at least cooks hotter in the back. So I like to rotate my pans, especially because these are so large. You don't want them to cook like all the way on the outside and not be cooked enough on the inside. So rotate your pans halfway through baking. Once they get nice and golden brown and they have lost their glossy sheen on top, then they're done. Err on the side of undercooked on this. These are really, really great when they're nice and gooey. And once they're baked, let them sit for a little bit because that chocolate, there's so much chocolate in them, they're gonna be super gooey, but we end up with a giant and delicious chocolate chip cookie. The comments on this cookie recipe are that they are fantastic. I know that they're my mom's favorite, and I know they're gonna be your favorite too. They smell amazing. The oats add a little bit of chew, even though it's not an oatmeal cookie, it adds a little bit of chewiness. That lemon juice combined with the baking soda gives them a lot of softness. They're loaded with chocolate chips and walnuts, and so they are fantastic. These taste just like you're checking into a hotel, but they're better because you're having them at home. I'm gonna go enjoy this cookie and freeze the rest so I don't eat them all while you keep watching for more cookie recipes.